After coming home from deployment and ending his military service, Tony Tengwall wanted to continue to help former soldiers. But memories of battle made life and work difficult until he met a friend with a wagging tail and bad breath.
I enlisted when I was 17 in the Minnesota Army National Guard.
Tony Tengwall says he knew he wanted to serve his country at an early age, but what he started as a way to make extra money for school 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year drastically changed on September 11th, 2001.
When 9/11 happened, and then especially when the U.S. invaded Iraq, you could see the writing on the wall. There was some excitement, but there was a lot of nervous, scared, didn't really know what to expect.
His deployment to Iraq in 2004 soon taught him difficult lessons that couldn't be learned in basic training.
We lost 3 guys in February of 2005. Actually had a rollover accident, and while they were carrying the soldier who was thrown from the vehicle, they went directly over an IED that went off. Killed our 3 guys. I think there was some guys from another unit that were injured as well.
The supply sergeant then began a new battle fought not between enemy lines, but between his ears.
You don't have time to really process it and grieve over it. It's, well, we got to move on. We've still got stuff that has to happen. That is the hardest thing in my life.
Returning home with no physical injuries in December of 2005 brought on new challenges. Tony left the war, but the war didn't leave him.
When I got back, I lived with some of my buddies that I was deployed with, which was nice because you were around people that understood what you're going through. But at the same time, you know, it was a lot of drinking, staying out all night, you know, just kind of trying to relive that year that you missed.
Tony says he didn't realize the impact his service left on him until he started working with veterans years later.
The biggest thing was just being honest with myself and actually saying, you know what, I've got some things that are broken. I could see that I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I wasn't going in a good direction.
Battling post-traumatic stress disorder, Tony's path toward mental health led him to a Becker County Veteran Service officer.
Had me over for dinner, and they had a bunch of dogs. I went up to her house once and met Fitz, and just instantly she could see the way I reacted, that I was happier, I had a smile on my face. You know, I got along with him. We really hit it off as, you know, a person and a dog can.
The English Cocker Spaniel, trained as a service dog and available for adoption, soon became Tony's therapist, co-worker, and friend.
Then I couldn't see what he was doing to me, but the people around me, my family, my friends, could tell that I was just a different person with him in my life. He can read me better than I can read me. If I have road rage and I'm driving down the road, he can sense that. He'll put his head up on my shoulder. He works great for me because he hunts and loves to be outside.
Now a veteran service officer in Anoka County, Tony brings Fitz to work every day, and vets coming in take notice.
At first it's really awkward because you have this dog and you can take him everywhere, but now everyone's staring at you like, why does he have a dog? In our line of work, you're not always dealing with the happiest people, because if things are going well, they probably don't need to come see their CVSO. So a lot of people will come in pretty angry, and he has the ability to certainly diffuse that situation by, you know, he'll go up and they'll start petting him, and they're, you know, it takes the edge off, and they're like, well, here's what's going on, you know. Oh, he's a good dog.
Oh, they come in kind of grumpy, and after they see him, then they calm down, and they leave here very happy.
We've actually had veterans call and say, you know, hey, is Fitz there? And we're like, well, yeah. Well, I lost my dog a couple years ago. I'm really missing him. I want to come in and see him. Cool, come on in. I've spent a lot of my time with Fitz explaining to people how psychiatric service dogs work, you know, kind of opening people's eyes to that, because it's a pretty new concept.
Tony says Fitz is focused on helping others in the office most of the time.
If he sees a ball, he loses his mind.
I love having him here. Now if I could just teach him to answer the phone, I'd be all right.
When we do demobilization events and all these units are coming back, I would just let him run the room. But he can kind of sense who's stressed out, and he'll buddy up to that person and just hang out with them the rest of the day. So stuff like that. He can kind of read a room and figure out who needs him.
It's just a great asset to the office, him and Tony both.
He's my dog, but he affects a lot of people.
For more information on how veterans can get a service dog, go to caninesforwarriors.org. And to meet Fitz, stop by the Anoka County Veterans Service Office. We're joined once again by therapist Susan Roller. Susan, what kind of common trends do you see with PTSD?
Well, you know, the symptoms that we typically see are things like depression, anxiety, hypervigilance, insomnia, outbursts of anger.
And how have service animals been able to help people with those kind of conditions?
You know, service animals can have a tremendous impact on people living with PTSD. Service animals are trained, and the person living with PTSD can rely on the animal's instincts. The people with service animals tend to have better health, and the animals can also act as a social buffer to decrease isolation, which is important.